All right, so today we're going deep into Kiwi Farms,
Oh, yeah.
specifically the Brianna Wu thread.
All right.
Brianna Wu.
Yeah, transgender game developer.
Right, former political candidate.
Yeah, she's gotten a lot of attention on Kiwi Farms.
She has. And
For better or for worse.
yeah, and for people who might not know,
Right.
Kiwi Farms is a website.
It's a forum.
Yeah, dedicated to documenting sow cows.
Yeah.
Individuals with eccentric or controversial online presences.
Right, exactly.
And so one of the things that I noticed right away was this post by candidate No.7.
Okay.
Pointing out that Wu has become the most blocked account on Bluesky.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
That's got to be some kind of record, right?
yeah, Bluesky prides itself on open dialogue.
Right.
So being the most blocked account there suggests,
Maybe she's having trouble navigating those waters.
yeah,
Or maybe she just likes pushing buttons.
yeah, maybe a little of both.
Could be.
But that kind of sets the tone for the thread. There's a lot of, let's just say, colorful language being thrown around.
Right.
John Walker Flint, trans woo man.
You get the picture.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that type of language
Right.
is all too common in certain corners of Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reflects a level of hostility
Yeah.
and transphobia that's frankly
Yeah,
pretty disturbing to see.
for sure, for sure. But amidst all that negativity,
Yeah.
there are these moments of, like,
Okay.
dark humor.
Right.
Like when, not Dr. Evil jokes,
Okay.
that goober grape had nothing to do with truants.
It's that classic Kiwi Farms irony
Right.
and detachment.
Right.
Even in the darkest corners of the internet,
Right.
people find ways to make light of things,
Totally.
albeit in a way that might not be for everyone.
Yeah. And then there's autistic right,
Okay.
demanding proper pronoun usage, but adding a sarcastic A at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they're playing by the rules
Right.
while simultaneously mocking them.
Exactly. It's that self-awareness.
That makes the humor so distinct and arguably so controversial.
And then you've got Norvik 2, The Resurrection,
Okay.
talking about Wu's meltdown
Oh,
and speculating about the potential demise of her podcast, The Dollcast.
okay.
I guess Wu's public coming out as transgender
Yeah.
really stirred things up.
It seems like it's become a focal point for a lot of the discussion.
Yeah.
Users analyzing and dissecting her every move since then.
And speaking of analyzing,
Right.
check out this comment from Otis Mellabrook.
Okay.
They casually mention that a few quality posts are missing. Makes you wonder what kind of content moderation,
Yeah.
if any, is happening behind the scenes.
Good point. Kiwi Farms has a long and complicated history
Oh,
with content moderation. They've faced numerous shutdowns and controversies over the years.
Yeah,
It's a constant balancing act
Oh, yeah.
between freedom of expression and the potential for harm.
for sure.
And it seems like that tension is always bubbling beneath the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting stuff.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it really is fascinating how this one thread can act as like a microcosm of the wider Kiwi Farms community. You've
Yeah.
got the crude humor,
Right.
the obsessive documentation,
Yeah.
and yeah, unfortunately, the outright bigotry.
Yeah, and it's not just like casual trolling either.
Right.
Some of these comments get pretty intense,
Definitely.
especially when it comes to Wu's gender identity.
Like take Finsvin, for example,
Okay.
referring to Wu as like John Walker Flint.
Right.
It's a very deliberate attempt to misgender her
Yeah.
and invalidate her identity.
And it's not just Finsvin either.
Right?
We see similar language from Dilator Tron 3000,
Oh, yeah.
who throws around the phrase trans woo man
Yeah.
like it's nothing.
It's a stark reminder that transphobia is sadly alive and well online.
Yeah.
And for someone like Brianna Wu,
Right.
who's so visible in the gaming world,
Right.
it's hard to imagine the kind of constant harassment
Right.
she must face.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it's not all doom and gloom, right?
Sure.
There's also that weird Kiwi Farms obsession
Yeah.
with dissecting every aspect of a lol cow's life.
Right.
They practically have PhDs in Brianna Wu studies at this point.
You're not wrong.
Like Norvik 2, The Resurrection,
Uh-huh.
seems convinced that Wu is having a meltdown
Oh, really?
because of her coming out as transgender.
Wow.
They're even predicting the end of her podcast, The Dollcast.
Interesting.
I guess any major life change for a public figure
Right.
becomes instant fire for the Kiwi Farms rumor mill.
Makes sense.
And Wu's transition definitely shook things up,
For sure.
both for her personally and for her online presence.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the one hand, you have increased visibility,
Right.
and the chance to connect with others who share similar experiences.
For sure.
But on the other, you open yourself up to this level of intense scrutiny.
Right.
And in some cases, outright hostility.
Totally. And the thread captures both sides of that coin.
Okay. You have comments like crying RNs who claim Wu is less offensive now.
Oh, really?
Because she supposedly had to keep her enormous mouth shut about women before.
It's a twisted logic, but it reveals an interesting perspective.
Right.
They seem to believe that Wu was somehow suppressing her true self.
Right.
And now that she's openly transgender, they see it as confirmation of their pre-existing biases.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
And honestly, not all of it is pleasant.
Sure.
But it's important to remember that these comments, even the most offensive ones, are part of a larger conversation happening on Kiwi Farms.
Exactly. And to understand that conversation, you have to look beyond the surface level and consider the motivations, the in-jokes,
For sure.
and the complex power dynamics at play.
Absolutely. You know, it's striking how much of this thread focuses on Brianna Wu's perceived failures or missteps.
It's like they're keeping a running tally.
Of every time she stumbles.
It's like they're almost waiting for her to fail.
Exactly.
And then they're like, ha, we told you so.
It's a common theme with lolcows. There's this segment of Kiwi Farms that just seems to revel in documenting every misfortune.
Right.
It's almost as if it validates their obsession.
Yeah. And it's often masked as humor, too.
Oh, for sure.
Like when SCUD sarcastically congratulates Wu for finally finding something she can be #1 at.
Oh, wow.
By becoming the most blocked account on Bluesky.
There's definitely a layer of irony and detachment there.
For sure.
But it's hard to ignore the underlying sentiment. This sense of satisfaction in seeing Wu struggle.
And then you have, not Dr. Evil, accusing Wu of getting euphoria from playing the victim.
It's a common tactic to discredit marginalized individuals, suggesting they're exaggerating their experiences for attention.
Right. It's a dangerous narrative because it shifts the focus away from the very real harm and discrimination that they face.
Instead of addressing the issue, it's turned into a personal attack.
Yeah, totally. A classic deflection tactic.
Yeah.
But thankfully, not everyone on Kiwi Farms buys into that.
Right.
We also see glimpses of genuine curiosity and attempts to understand Wu's perspective.
Yeah, take artificial stupidity's comment. Being Truscombe lefty is difficult, John.
Right.
They're acknowledging the complexities of Wu's political and ideological positioning, even if they're still misgendering her.
It shows that even on a platform like Kiwi Farms, there's room for nuance.
Absolutely.
And Chicken Polar seems to be genuinely concerned about pronoun usage, reminding others to use he when referring to Wu. Although with a sarcastic A at the end.
It highlights the ongoing debate surrounding pronoun usage and the challenges of navigating those conversations online.
For sure.
Even a seemingly well-intentioned correction can come across as hostile or mocking, depending on the context.
It's a reminder that language has power.
Absolutely.
And how we use it can have real consequences. Especially in online spaces. Where things can quickly escalate.
It's been a wild ride exploring this Kiwi Farms thread.
It really has.
We've seen the good, the bad, and the truly bizarre.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, it offers a fascinating glimpse into the dynamics between online communities and the public figures they obsess over.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It does.
About the power of the internet.
For sure.
And how it can be used for both good and bad.
Absolutely.
Well, that's our deep dive into the Brianna Wu thread on Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And be sure to tune in next time.
See you then.